Well, good morning, everybody. I appreciate you taking time to join us today. I'm Steve Conkle. I'm the Community Relations Director here at the University House in Issaquah. And the university, I want to thank you for joining today's real estate seminar. We're going to be talking with Tiara, and I'll tell you a little bit more about her in a moment. But I'm wanting to tell you a little bit about University House. We're a premier retirement community in Issaquah, where our residents share a unique passion for knowledge and a fascination with art and culture, and a desire to stay active in mind, body, and spirit. Our community is devoted to promoting healthy living through a wealth of interesting programming, fine dining, and an energetic, friendly atmosphere here in our community. We're nestled in the foothills of the Cascade Mountains, where our residents enjoy the small town charm of Issaquah and inspiring views of nature, all while being close to the bustling city centers of Seattle and Bellevue. If you're interested in learning more about the University House in Issaquah, our community relations team would be happy to answer any questions or take you on a tour of our community upon request. You can reach us at 425-557-4200. And now on to our main event. We're honored to host Tiara, who will be presenting on Selling Your Home, a senior's guide to real estate. I've known Tiara personally for several years, and she has a wealth of experience as both a buyer and seller agent. She is the Director of Operations at the Kendra Todd Group and holds a special designation as a seniors real estate specialist. Tiara, I will now turn the presentation over to you and have you begin sharing your screen with us.
Great. Hello, everyone. Let's pull open my presentation here. Give me just a moment. Okay, can you guys see here?
Yep, we can see.
Okay, let me. Oh, okay, well, we will go this way. Let me just change my view here. All righty. Well, my name's Tiara, like Steve mentioned. I've been working in real estate for a little over 15 years. One of the reasons I started real estate, I worked in customer service in the restaurant industry and wasn't able to, have a lot of the options that I hoped. And I started as a office manager, assistant to an agent, and progressively transitioned into sales. One of the things that I missed when working as a support agent was just the personal connection with clients. So one of my exciting points of my sales right now is that I get to work personally with people and help them and guide them on these exciting times through their lives, making big oh, can you guys hear me okay? Yeah, okay. And helping them with some of these big decisions. Some of my free time, I have a family, so I like spending time with my son. He is 12 and in 7th grade. And I do some volunteer work with local veterans as well. As Steve mentioned, I'm part of the team, the Kendra Todd Group. We're based out of Seattle and work pretty much greater Seattle area, Snohomish, King, and Pierce County, some of Kitsap as well, and even some further north, Whatcom, Skagit. So we kind of cover a lot of areas. Here's a little bit of information about our team and our production. There's about 10 of us on our team, and I manage our agents and a lot of the business that comes through our office. I know one of the topics that's on the agenda today is what's going on in the market today. So I pulled up some stats on specifically the east side, kind of around your guys' area. And then I'll go a little bit more specifically into each neighborhood. As of yesterday, in all of the east side, which includes, for these purposes, Bellevue, Redmond, and Issaquah, 75 active properties that are live today. Pendings, meaning properties that have accepted an offer, only 36 for the last week, and 98 have closed this month. Average days on market across those three areas is 37 days, with the median sale price of close to 1.2 million. Specifically in Issaquah, which is a little bit smaller than I would say Bellevue for sure, that breakdown is here. Just 23 homes available as of yesterday for any of those potential buyers, which is kind of unique and interesting. I know if some of you have been kind of checking out what's going on, or some of the talk on the news or other real estate contacts, inventory is pretty low. Just 10 properties under contract in the last week. So there's not a lot for buyers to work with, which is, a great opportunity for sellers that are looking to, unload their property. Here specifically is Bellevue, a little bit more inventory for the bigger space, but again, just not a lot of statistics there. Average days on market is a little bit higher. When I pulled this data, of the 51 homes, I think there was one that had been on the market for off and on for up to 500 days. So kind of interpreted the average days on market a little oddly because of that one property. But when I did crunch the numbers without that one property, it brought it down to about 22 days on the market average. So kind of interesting how one property can make that big difference. That one in particular had some unique circumstances. So things like that can happen, but average things are moving pretty quickly. And again, median sale price in that area, Bellevue specifically, closer to 1.4 million. Here we have the Redmond, again, just active, pending, and sold homes. Tried to keep it pretty basic for, the purposes of the presentation. Of course, we're here to help if you need some specific market data. Redmond, again, is a smaller area than Bellevue in particular, so the numbers are a little bit smaller. So overall in these three areas, just to kind of sum up what that looks like, in the past year, the median sale price has gone up almost 20% for those three areas combined. And the average days on market has decreased by 30%. So what this means kind of for sellers is obviously your home values has increased just in the last 12 months. And the time taken to sell your property and accept an offer from a buyer that's going to close has dropped dramatically, which is great. Some of the specific things we're seeing for sellers when we list their properties, multiple offers most of the time. A lot of them have really creative specifics in their offers that are much more seller favorable. Things like that include waiving their inspections, meaning as it notes here, no repairs. The buyers often do their due diligence ahead of time, either completing inspections before submitting an offer, reviewing all of the details on the property to kind of make their offer, kind of bulletproof, so to say, to make sure they can close, since oftentimes they are competing against other buyers to win the home. Sometimes we're seeing even financing contingencies waived if they are obtaining financing. Sometimes their earnest money, which is like their good faith amount, will be released, or a portion of that, to the seller even before the closing date. So it's kind of a unique time. We've seen competitive markets before, but it's definitely different than even it was a couple years ago when things really heated up in the area. Moving on to kind of the next topic that I really wanted to touch base on, which was some of these need to know details. Specifically, the big is, what's your goal for your sale? Each homeowner has different circumstances that leads them to deciding to sell their home. So having a real estate professional that can help you achieve these goals is important. Having those conversations about, what the end game is and what your next steps are. Timeline, obviously, everybody has a different timeline as far as when they'll be ready to get on the market and when they, need the funds from their sale, or what their next steps are. Market expectations, of course, your proceeds taking out of the sale, the cost of selling your home, and then repairs and updates. So I'll go into a little more depth on each of those pieces. So specifically, current market conditions and the value of your home. Of course, when you hire a professional real estate agent, they're going to tour your home, discuss with you all the aspects of it that you can share, hopefully, and discuss with you what some of those specifics are when deciding to sell your home. Pros and cons, what buyers are looking for, things to help prepare your home for the market, all of those details. But of course, this specifically, knowing what your home's valued are, maybe what some of those hurdles are when deciding to list your home, and what to expect in the market. Some of those things, how long do you think it will take to get an offer? What are we seeing as far as terms for that? And just setting really clear expectations for what's to come once your home hits the market. Some of the things that we see that do contribute to home value, which your agent will be able to discuss with you specifically for your home. Some of those things include neighborhood. So comparable properties within your community, what things are selling for around your area, and what some of those expectations are. Schools, especially on the east side, play a big part. School districts, those can be big factors to potential buyers as well that are looking for a place for their family to grow and things like that. Floor plans, oftentimes, there can be unique floor plans, sometimes maybe challenging. So having those conversations with your real estate agent is important to see if those benefit, or, what those expectations look like for each of your unique properties. Also, some of the things, freeway access, proximity to the city, those can be factors. Obviously, right now, people are not commuting as frequently, but, when things open up, depending on potential buyers' work industry, that can be important. Some people are starting to go back to work in their offices a couple of days a week. So that can be something as well. Of course, repairs and updates, your real estate agent, when they tour your home, will be able to advise you and help you specifically on what that looks like for your home in particular, and helping you make good decisions for those, and if they are necessary, of course. Of course, when we're talking about home value. Oftentimes, I'm sure people, use some of those online home evaluations. Here's just an example of the differences of the sale price of a home and what the Zestimate or online evaluation, what the differences of those are. Some of these have a swing of, 6%, which can be off-putting, especially when you're setting expectations. If your real estate agent isn't guiding you and setting those expectations, some of these online tools can sway what those look like for sellers and what that can be back in your pocket as far as your proceeds go from your sale. So just having that conversation and knowing that, take this online information with a grain of salt. Most of the times these are just formulas that are put together based on some neighborhood information, but each property is unique, and it's important to have somebody tour your home and make proper evaluations based on actually seeing your property. That leads into our next piece, net proceeds. So the proceeds that you are going to receive, or what's called the net proceeds from your home sale, is based on the final sale price of your home. And then after all of the fees and charges, whatever's on there, are paid out. So some of those fees I have on the next slide are broken down so you can kind of see what some of those pieces are that will be coming out of the seller side on the transaction. So title policy, escrow fees, recording, excise tax. So excise tax is a standard Washington fee, and there is a adjustable figure on that based on your home sale. So make sure you're having these conversations with your real estate agent that you decide to hire, because they can swing depending on the sale of your home from 1.5% to up to 3%, which can be a good chunk of money that's coming out of your pocket. So unfortunately, there's not really a workaround for it, but just knowing what those figures are up front will really set you up for knowing what you can take out of the sale and get you into your next steps, whatever that may be. Some of the prorated fees, things like property taxes, homeowners dues, any sewer capacity charges, if so, those are all broke down based on the closing date of your home and how up to when you sell, and then the buyer would be responsible for when they take ownership. So having knowledge and discussing those with your real estate agent, they should be able to give you a pretty accurate breakdown based on maybe some of the numbers that you guys have discussed on your home value and what the market expectations are, so that you can plan accordingly. Also, real estate brokerage fees. Traditionally in real estate, the seller does pay both the listing agent fees as well as the buyer's agent. Of course, just discuss this with your real estate agent and what that will look like. Oftentimes it's around 6%, but again, have that conversation with your agent and see what the breakdown is for that. And then also any unpaid debts. So that would be things like, a deed of trust for a mortgage balance. Maybe you had a home equity loan, or, maybe you have some legal things like a judgment or a lien. All of those would need to be paid off and closed with your home. So that would be part of the net proceeds breakdown. Hopefully that kind of covers everything. Let's see. So as I discussed earlier, kind of planning and having those conversations with your real estate agent, it's really important to just be very clear on what your goals are for your home sale, because it really helps the agent plan with you on what's to come next. So of course, make sure when you are interviewing agents that they're on board with what your goal is, since they will be working on your behalf and advocating for you to potential buyers to get you to where you want to go. Each homeowner has specific needs and wants and goals. Some of them just want to get the property off of the books. Others, it's about the top dollar amount, things like that. So just really making it specific to what you need. As I mentioned, each homeowner is different. Here's a couple of scenarios of what each option is. Obviously, as is, there's, maybe timeline is really important and we just need to sell the house and get it on the market and sold quickly. So sometimes that means really just not doing any preparation, pricing it accordingly, and getting it on the market so that we can sell and move on right away. Maybe we don't have the overhead to carry the property through some repairs or updating, and that's okay. We just have that conversation and discuss what that would look like for you. The other option is to do some minor repairs. Sometimes that's just as simple as a deep cleaning, maybe you're replacing some flooring or carpet. Maybe there's a broken window that needs to be replaced or something like that. So preparing a couple of those minor things just to get it on the market. The other option is to do some larger repairs or updates. So there are sellers that, maybe some updated counters, maybe there's some exterior work that really needs to be done. Things like that can open the pool of potential buyers up. And sometimes, really increase the value of your home, which would ultimately increase the sale proceeds for the seller. So again, having these conversations with your real estate agent and determining what's the best strategy for you when you decide to list your home. Here's a couple of examples I've just put together so that you can see kind of as is versus doing some updates. Some of these are really minor updating, some are a little more extensive. In the first scenario, you can see just a lot of painting, flooring being replaced and refinished. And then some work around as far as like removing doors, opening up a little bit of a doorway, freshening everything up. The as-is value versus the sale price of these sample scenarios, obviously, again, bringing more money into the seller's pocket at the end does require some prep work, but your experienced agent will be able to guide you through some of these and again, making those strategic and correct decisions for your specific property and setting those realistic expectations of what the outcome would look like. So again, customizing your plan. This can be as simple as, hiring the correct agent that you have confidence in that's able to take on some of these things, whatever that may be, to get you to your next phase. So really, I think it starts with hiring somebody that you have, like I said, confidence in and that has the capacity to manage or take on all of these things to prepare and sell your home accordingly. That leads into the next piece, which is some of the resources for your property, specifically for you and managing your property. But a lot of that looks like things like organization that can be sometimes overwhelming for sellers when preparing, just going through your belongings. Many of you may have been in your homes for quite a long time. So organizing and sorting some of those specific belongings, figuring out what to take with you, what you don't want to take with you. Some may need some legal resources, financial, as it mentions here. And then again, project management. We've talked about repairs and updates, preparation. But honestly, your real estate agent that you do hire should be supplying these resources to you and taking as much or as little off of the seller's plate as you wish. Some of our sellers really want to be involved every step of the way. And we have other sellers that, just hand the keys over to us and let us take it from there and put a lot of trust in us, but with the projects and examples that we've shown, feel confident. So make sure that when you do hire somebody, you share with them, what pieces that you need and make sure they're able to deliver those by having some of these preliminary conversations before signing an agreement and moving forward with them. The next piece that obviously your real estate agent should be providing you is marketing to the public. How will they present your property in its best light once it's prepared and ready for the market, however you guys decide. Some agents are able to offer professional photography. Hopefully all of them will be. Some other unique things that some agents are able to provide is maybe a floor plan drawing. Virtual tours become more common in this time with COVID specifically. That may be super helpful if you still occupy the property. It can maybe limit how many people are coming through on a regular basis while your home is just listed. Staging is one of those things that definitely can help present your property in the best light and show potential buyers what to do with the space. Sometimes when it's empty, it's hard for people to visualize that. So we've seen time and time again that staging really benefits the seller with value and selling your home quicker. Also, of course, negotiations and advocacy. As I mentioned before, it's really important to hire an agent that you trust, that's going to advocate for you and your needs and goals out of the home sale. Again, each property has unique circumstances with our sellers, and you really want to make sure that when you receive an offer or having some of those preliminary conversations with potential buyers, that the expectation of what the seller is looking for is shared. Sometimes if specifically maybe you are occupying the property still, maybe a closing in 7 days would not be ideal. That could be really overwhelming for a seller. So again, just making sure your goals are very clear and the expectations are known to your real estate agent. Here, I just wanted to share some before and afters of some projects that our team, the Kendra Todd Group, has done for our sellers. Again, each seller is different, but we've seen a lot of benefits with just some simple projects that we've been able to manage. Again, some are more in depth and some are a little lighter. This is just here, this example is just an exterior paint and a little bit of landscaping work, removing some of those bushes and things and just putting in a simple beauty bark went a long way for this curb appeal for this home. Here's a couple more photos of a recent project that we did. We managed this project for the sellers to prepare it for the market. In the living room there, we just did interior paint, removing the drapes, a little bit of carpet there, and then some staging. And it went a long way for these sellers. In the kitchen, we painted their cabinets, left the floor plan as it was, replaced some lighting, counters, and hardware and fixtures, and it looks like a whole new space for these sellers. Again, this was a recent project that we had. Over 130 buyers potentially toured the property while it was listed, and the seller had 19 offers to choose from, which was really exciting. Could be a little overwhelming, but hiring an agent that can manage and put all those pieces together so you can review them and make the decision is super helpful. So organization is a big factor in this. This seller selected a buyer that was able to close in just 12 days with no inspection contingency and no financing contingency. So they were able to manage the project, get the home on the market, and walk away with their sale proceeds in less than 2 weeks from listing to the funds hitting their bank account, which was really exciting. Here's another just simple, a little bit of updates. Flooring, we replaced the countertops here and painted the cabinets, added some hardware. We even left the light fixture there and the mirror. So it was pretty basic. And this project only just took a few days, just coordinating, planning, and again, just presenting the property in a more modern, fresh light for potential buyers. This project in particular, again, painted cabinets, replaced the flooring. We replaced the dishwasher so that it went with the other two appliances, and pulled out that light fixture there in the middle. And I don't know if I said, but countertops and hardware. And that was about it in this space, but it was a big transformation for these sellers, and they really benefited from the sale. So again, not all projects will need to be this extensive. I mean, again, it's talking to your agent, walking through your home, figuring out the best plan to, get you the most money out of the sale and moved on to your next phase of life. I know I've kind of gone through this kind of quickly, but does anybody have any questions? No? Okay. Well, again, a lot of detail here. So lots of important information. Hopefully that helped kind of start off your wheels turning in your head about what some of your real estate goals are for your home sale. Here's my phone number in case you have any questions or specific market data. I am here to help if you would like to reach out and start the conversation.
All right, thanks, Tiara. Appreciate it. If we have no more questions, I want to thank Tiara again for your incredibly informative presentation today. I think we all learned something. I love seeing those comparative photos. It's amazing sometimes to see what a room can look like when someone's just has a fresh perspective. So we'll be emailing today's attendees an evaluation form, and we'd love to hear your feedback on this presentation, as well as any suggestions you may have for future Zoom presentations. If you have any questions about University House or would like a tour, please reach out to us at 425-557-4200. Again, I'm Steve Conkle. I'm the Community Relations Director here at University House, and this concludes today's presentation. Have a wonderful afternoon, and we look forward to seeing you again for future Zoom events until we can meet in person. Thank you.
Thank you.